Hello and welcome to the Fox 54 Weekend Review. I'm Kenesha Dees, your guide to the weekend local news. Only Fox 54 brought it to you. Here's a glimpse of some of the stories headed your way this weekend. Flu cases are on the rise in North Alabama, so much so that one school in Limestone County had to end the semester early. What you need to know. The Christmas spirit is alive and well, and people like you are really making the season bright for those less fortunate. We'll explore some of the charities you're helping this holiday season. And one place in our area is bringing some funk to the Christmas season. Hop aboard, we'll show you to the Grand Funk Railroad and so much more just ahead. And we begin this week in review in Decatur, where a series of disturbing crimes have occurred and the city's police department under public scrutiny for how they handled it. We took your criticism and questions directly to the chief of police. Here's how it all played out. We'll start in Decatur. Police report a string of burglaries involving sexual assault have been happening in the city. The most recent one last Saturday, and so far, no suspect has been found. The Decatur Police Department released this information today, but the attacks date back to April. Police say a man has been entering houses through unlocked windows and sexually assaulting people. The first one happened on Ferry Street. The second assault on Hay Drive 2 weeks ago, and the last just 4 days ago on 2nd Avenue. Police described the burglar as a black male, about 5'6" to 5'9" inches tall. He is believed to be between the ages of 20 to 45 years old with a slender to medium build. The man also reportedly covered his face during the burglaries and assaults. Police urging residents to lock doors and windows, especially at night. We've reached out to Decatur police about the delay in releasing this information. We were told that it, quote, had to go through a lot of channels. The question is, why now? Why is the department just now releasing this information? It's a question asked by many people in these comments here under a post from the Decatur Police Department about these violent break-ins. We hear from some Decatur residents too. Here's a listen.
It actually shocked me and horrified me, especially my 19-year-old daughter was the one that let me know about it. You would think it would be common news.
This parent, who chose to be anonymous, is one of the many concerned residents in Decatur. It's after learning about a string of burglaries and sexual assaults that police believe are linked. The first assault happened on Ferry Street on April 27th, the second assault on Hay Drive December 7th, and most recently the third assault on 2nd Avenue December 14th. We sat down with Decatur Chief of Police Todd Pinion, and we asked him, why was there a delay in alerting the community about this danger?
At any point, we don't want to make the public basically alarmed if we don't have any reason to put that out there. There's no need to cause any undue alarm. But once we was able to kind of link some things together with this to be able to kind of put the MO, put the the description of the suspects.
But this concerned parent believes police should have acted sooner.
When something that serious happens in this small of a community, the community would like to know when one incident happens, much less 2, 3, or 4.
Decatur PD now asking for the public's help.
If there's anybody suspicious that's not in the area, that they haven't seen in the area before, to report it to us and let us know. And if there's anybody that's in the surrounding areas that would have had some video surveillance from the original cases, to please give us a call.
Authorities also telling residents to be sure to lock their doors and windows, especially at night. Line for the Decatur PD is 256-341-4636 if you do have information. A Limestone County elementary school shuts down for the rest of this year. We've learned it's because of the high number of students out sick. Sugar Creek Elementary is dealing with what is believed to be a flu outbreak. The Limestone County School is located in the town of Leicester. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo spoke to school officials to find out more.
Classes were canceled for the rest of the week over at Sugar Creek Elementary after a flu outbreak swept through the whole school, but effectively that's the rest of the semester. Sanitation crews will be working to clean up and disinfect everything, and all the students will be coming back on January 7th. Each school district sets its own policies on whether or not to close a given school, and although Limestone County Superintendent Randy Shearhouse says they don't have a set policy in place, it's a cause for concern when a fifth of the students are missing from class.
We were doubling up on some classes, and so that just wasn't optimal in this situation. But once again, we don't have a set policy, but that 20% really starts us looking at each school to determine whether or not we can continue to have school each and every day and take care of our students.
And with the State Department of Public Health, Medical Officer Wes Stubblefield says the number of cases with flu-like symptoms just keeps rising.
This year, our numbers, like I said, they have started to rise pretty dramatically over the last 2 to 3 weeks. We don't know where the peak will end, but it's safe to say that flu is here and that everyone needs to be prepared.
And next to the school in Tanner, shop owner Saren Smith says it's good for everybody to stop the spread.
If one customer comes in, they're sick, gets us sick, we don't really know it, we're spread it to other customers that were well. So it's just a vicious circle. So if we can put a stop to it, it's great. Economically, for everybody in this community. It's a small community.
Superintendent Shearhouse also says they plan to return to full operation in January, and they might even celebrate some of their holiday activities then. In Athens, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Now, classes are scheduled to resume at the Limestone County School in January. Details on what led to the arrest of a fugitive in Athens coming to light. Bernabe Roman was arrested Sunday after a 27-year-long run from law enforcement, we've learned. Our Ken McCoy has more on what police are sharing may have kept him hidden for so long.
A 2-decade search has come to an end. Bernabe Roman was arrested for the murder of 21-year-old Jose Salinas Gomez.
This was a murder that happened back December 25th, 1997, about 2:35 in the morning is when we received a call. So Sunday, December 15th, just shy of 27 years, we arrested Bernabe Roman for murder.
Athens PD assisted U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Removal Division in his capture. Lieutenant Jonathan Caldwell says interviews conducted with those who knew Roman played a key role.
During the operation, contacts was made with several of these individuals, and some of them knew or had knowledge of Roman and knew that he had committed a murder several years ago. Based on the information that we received from the interviews that we conducted, a search warrant was requested and issued by Limestone County judge.
Officials telling us Roman's use of an alias is what kept him hidden for so long, and they think he may have fled to Mexico at some point in the last 27 years.
I can't remember the name right off, Dion, but yes, he had been arrested under a fake name before. We know after the murder we'd received information that he'd went back to Mexico. How long he'd actually been in Alabama, I'm not sure we really know that right now. We do suspect he's been here for several years, obviously living under a different name.
I asked how Roman could have gone undetected in Athens for so long, but APD says the arrest is still fresh and they are actively working with ICE to learn more about Roman's whereabouts for the last 27 years. Roman is being held in the Limestone County Jail on a $75,000 bond. In Athens, Ken McCoy, Fox 54 News.
We've also learned at this time the victim's family haven't been notified of Roman's arrest. Athens PD sharing that the 27-year-long time frame has made the process difficult and are now working to find updated contact information. Coleman County confirmed as one of 2 counties with cases of the bird flu, and that's big news because Coleman is #1 for producing poultry in the state, according to the county. More than $800 million is dedicated to poultry and egg farming. It's according to the Alabama Co-op Extension System. But that production now could be in jeopardy.
Small scale producers, it's going to be a very large hit. We're only around 1,000 birds annually, and if you take out that 1-800 at a time, you're looking at a substantial blow to the farm, to the gross income.
Nick Jones, a farmer with 5 Sons Farm in Madison County, explains how detrimental avian influenza or the bird flu can be to any farmer. State veterinarian Dr. Tony Frazier explains what the virus is.
That virus usually just hangs out and stays in those migratory birds. Well, occasionally there's this spillover. So what has happened is in the migration patterns in Alabama, there's been apparently this spillover from these migratory birds.
Yes, reported cases of bird flu are in North Alabama, but Frazier says not to panic. There are preventative measures. Frazier says to follow these tips to keep your birds safe.
Before they come back home to their birds, just change clothes. Before you go back into your chicken coop, have dedicated footwear, clean utensils, clean water, clean drinkers, to change that regularly, disinfect with just normal disinfectant. Clorox is a great disinfectant. Just biosecurity is absolutely critical.
Here's how to spot the symptoms of bird flu, particularly in your flock.
In another part of the state, it was a backyard flock that the owner noticed sort of the same thing, that his backyard birds were sick and some of them were dying, and called us.
Jones says if you do see symptoms, report it immediately.
An outbreak of the avian flu would be obviously devastating to myself or any other farmer's annual income. It'd be huge. But you have a responsibility to report things like this.
The Lakeview Community Center is closing after nearly 2 decades of serving at-risk kids after school. Many residents in the area pleading for it to remain open. Our Caleb Aguayo shows us that center.
The Guntersville City Council unanimously approved a motion to close the Lakeview Community Center for at-risk kids at the start of the month, and it should take effect by the month's end. But kids from the center, staff, and concerned parents flooded City Hall tonight to bring it back up for discussion.
Tonight, the Lakeview Community Center in Guntersville is at risk of closing after nearly 17 years because the city is deciding its status as a facility for at-risk kids. Although the Guntersville Parks and Rec has concerns about finding funding for the location, Program Director Kent Looney says they never run out of kids to help.
Some of them does not have the transportation to get them back and forth from after-school program. And this is a safe place for them. This is in their community. The bus drops them off here. It makes it so convenient for the parents to have them here.
And when mom or dad works all day, the kids need somewhere to go too. The center provides that free of charge for the children and their families.
We take and have the kids, we give them a hot meal every day and help them with their homework, and take and have activities for them for a couple of hours after school.
That was the case for Unique Dunstan, a former student at the center. She says now that she sees the positive effects it's had on the kids, it's important to fight for it to stay in the community.
My success, I attribute a lot of it to the youth center here in Guntersville. We showed up tonight in hopes to convince the city council to take a revote, to reconsider their decision to close the center.
But the Lakeview Community Center's kids and staff are hopeful that it will remain open.
Take and look at what's best for the kids, and I think if they do that, they'll keep it open.
District 1 Councilman Sanchez Watkins declined to comment on the closure at the council meeting tonight, but in a press release, the city of Guntersville primarily attributed the closure to financial responsibility. In Guntersville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
2 months ago, flames ripped through an apartment building in Huntsville. It happened here at the Fern Park Apartments. Today, construction crews began breaking down the destroyed buildings, and some who lived here tell us their belongings are still inside. Our Gabe Glassman explains.
A couple months ago, residents here at the Fern Park apartment complex were shocked as they saw their building engulfed in flames. Now, a couple months later, residents affected and those unaffected are feeling something similar.
My reaction? Shocked. I was shook, bro.
She got the news and she was shocked.
People found out about the apartment fire in all sorts of ways. John was at work when it happened.
I was obviously confused because all that wasn't there when I left this morning.
Ryan's girlfriend lived in one of the apartments. She wasn't home at the time, but the rest of her life was still inside.
Our apartment burned down with all her stuff in there. She only had a couple days closed. She's been sad about certain things because she's had certain things like her grandfather's stuff that irreplaceable, and she wasn't able to get them. She can't get them.
And as machines tear down what's left of the buildings, whatever was inside these homes is being cleared out too.
We haven't been able to get anything.
A lot of people were trying to sift through it and grab what they can.
Construction crews on site came dressed in head-to-toe protection with warnings of asbestos surrounding the building.
It makes me kind of concerned, I'm not gonna lie.
There was mold in the apartment before, and they'll fix it occasionally, but you have to be very upfront and very forward.
Residents say they only received this notice earlier this week, but before that, there was little to no communication on the situation.
We weren't given any updates. They were telling us no.
They were just letting us know that if we don't park over there because they're about to tear all that down.
They didn't give us any answers, anything.
And the lack of communication is leaving a bitter taste in their mouths.
It is a shocker that they only gave 2-3 days notice about downing anything. They didn't give us any updates or anything, so we're not very happy there.
Fox 54 contacted property managers for Fern Park Apartments. They haven't gotten back to us for comment. In Huntsville, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
Unimaginable. Huntsville police arrested 33-year-old Jared Owens last week after finding evidence suggesting the fire was intentionally set. Owens has been charged with first-degree arson, resisting arrest, obstructing justice, possession of methamphetamine, and prowling. He has a hearing scheduled for January 8th. Amazon employees are striking nationwide and even right here in Madison. We told you earlier there were strikers outside the Amazon Fulfillment Center in Madison, but they have since left for the evening. They tell us they had been striking since 6 a.m. this morning, and they plan to return tomorrow at 4 a.m. before the sun even comes out. They're referring all comments to the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. The organization says thousands of its members are now on the picket lines. Teamsters are asking Amazon for better pay and benefits and safer working conditions. It's just in time for the holidays. America's largest online retailer is hit with what could be the biggest strike in its history. We tried contacting the local fulfillment center, but the number has been disconnected. We'll keep you updated on the strike here in Madison. Tune in to our show tomorrow night at 5:30 right here on Fox 54 or go to Fox 54 Plus or fox54.com. Yes, a traffic impact alert. A busy intersection in Huntsville has lost its turning lanes. This is the area we've been warning you about. A busy stretch of Memorial Parkway as you approach Alabama A&M University if you're headed north. Construction there is entering a new stage, and from today until further notice, the intersection of Memorial and Masson Lake Road will operate without left turn lanes. We spoke with the Department of Transportation to learn more. A new overpass for the expansion of North Memorial Parkway means construction. But what it also means is traffic rerouting. And for at least the next 6 months, that means no left turn lane.
At earliest, it would be sometime in the spring before we are able to reopen those left turn lanes. And that's all based on the construction of the overpass.
For some business owners who depend on traffic from the intersection, the reduction of turning lanes can be hard because of the lack of visibility.
I know transition has to happen for the better for the future, but going down that lane could mean that sometimes we may not be able to see as much patients, or they may not know that we're here a lot of times.
This might not be the only overpass added to North Memorial Parkway in the future.
There were additional overpasses that were looked at and planned for, and this is all conceptual. However, at this time, we do not have any solid plans for constructing additional overpass.
For Mary Sparks, she's excited for the future of her clinic once the overpass is completed.
That's our main goal, is to make sure that we'll continue to provide a better environment for the patients. Even the overpass will definitely help increase revenue in this area, not just for us, just for our surrounding communities as well.
Yeah, Aldad tells Fox 54 that the project is currently expected to be completed in the spring of 2026. An effort to halt the Belmina quarry is making its way through court. It's a temporary restraining order for Grayson Carter and Son Contracting to stop work on the site while a potentially lengthy trial plays out in federal court. But it's facing some resistance in the courtroom after the contracting company's legal team filed documents opposing what they called last-minute, quote, gamemanship by the church. You heard right. Grayson Carter and Son Contracting called on the judge to, quote, strike this untimely and inadmissible evidence, either as a sanction or under the evidentiary rules, end quote. The filings the church submitted were affidavits focused on conditions and alleged activities at the quarry, which included hundreds of trucks allegedly tearing up Mooresville Road and the possible effects the mining could have on the community just a few hundred feet away. The pastor at the Belmina Methodist Church, Cody Gillum, says those claims are real and they're destroying his community.
They don't seem to care about the neighbors that they claim they're going to be. I would like to invite the people that own the quarry and the people that have invested in the quarry to occupy some of the homes they already own in Belmina and let us know what they think about living so close to a quarry.
And in a statement provided to Fox 54, Chris Bertrand with the Southern Environmental Law Center, which represents the church in court, said, quote, "We've been giving everyone involved proper and sufficient notice for everything that we've done," end quote. He also said today in the courtroom, the judge did not dismiss the church's affidavits like the contracting company operating the quarry had hoped. However, court records of the decision have not been made available yet for Fox 54 to confirm or deny the claim. But the defense filing today leaves little doubt that Grayson Carter and Son had just about had enough. It continues. It seems the plaintiffs had this expert's report for more than a week and sat on it to disadvantage Grayson Carter's ability to respond. Or plaintiffs just happened to get really lucky, so their after acquired expert agreed with all their pre-existing conditions, sight unseen, end quote. A judge today denied the latest effort to put a pause in effect for the Belmina quarry. As we've reported, an environmental advocacy group representing two churches sought a temporary restraining order on the quarry run by Grayson and Son contractors. But a court today said no, citing precedent that such extraordinary power must be cautiously and sparingly exercised, and noting that the state Supreme Court has been exceedingly unwilling to endorse such orders until a trial has played out. The Southern Environmental Law Center, which sought the temporary restraining order, tells Fox 54 the ruling is a disappointment, but that it won't affect the group's long-term legal plans. The organization claims a range of hardships and threats to the community by the mining project. A hearing was set today in court. It will take place February 6th.
We start tonight in Huntsville's St. John AME Church, where state officials like House Minority Leader Anthony Daniels and community members gathered to honor the life and legacy of civil rights icon Rosa Parks. 69 years ago, the Black Tuskegee seamstress was arrested after refusing to give up her seat to a white man on a Montgomery City bus. This would spark a year-long boycott of buses and help fuel the civil rights movement across the U.S. This evening, a commemoration service was held in her honor by Huntsville's Rosa Parks Committee. The ceremony's keynote speaker, Chris Singleton, spoke about continuing Parks' message to unite through love, even after facing personal tragedy in the 2015 Charleston church shooting. Take a listen.
This guy took 9 lives, and one of those lives happened to be a track coach. She was a speech language pathologist. She was our children's church pastor. She was my biggest fan. She was my mom. And when Rosa Parks talks about being tired, I knew my mom was tired. I knew my mom was tired of working extremely hard to provide for 3 kids. I knew she was tired of having to be perfect all the time. I knew she was tired of having to explain things like driving while black to her son who was 15 and 16, and I didn't believe it until it happened to her. She was tired, just like Rosa Parks said she was tired of giving in. But today we celebrate her.
Earlier this month, the city of Huntsville celebrated Rosa Parks Day by offering free rides on this local bus route. Congressman Robert Adderholt made a stop today in Geraldine to help dedicate a new community health facility. 1, 2, 3. The Geraldine Community Health Clinic will officially open on January 2nd. The clinic is moving into a donated former bank building. Congressman Adderholt's staff tells us he earmarked $375,000 in the federal budget to renovate for the building for the clinic.
Really, we're not just cutting a ribbon. It will be opening the door for a healthier future for this entire area, for Geraldine, DeKalb County, and the entire regions.
After the ribbon cutting, Congressman Adderholt and his wife, Carolyn, served as the grand marshals for the Geraldine Christmas Parade.
Now, Fox 54 Top Teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
I'm excited to introduce this educator. One parent says she comes highly recommended, the best teacher a mom could ever ask for. And being a mom herself, the people around this teacher say she knows how to show up. Meet this week's top teacher, Emily Allred from Danville Neal Elementary School.
We've got deep roots here at Danville.
For Danville Neal Elementary School teacher Emily Allred.
Born and raised, and that's where our family is.
This is her home away from home.
I love it. I love teaching. Reading's my thing, and I love reading and all things language.
Allred said she's been teaching the subjects for 5 years, and for her, Teaching goes beyond kids learning in their seats. She keeps them on their toes, and they keep her on her toes too.
So a lot of moving around just to keep them engaged and laughing a lot. Anything that we can make a joke out of. They go vote, so they go stand by where they want to answer their question.
And just like those busybodies stay moving in her classroom, she does too in more ways than one, shifting roles and adjusting to change. Just ask her principal, Tara Morrow.
She is willing to do whatever it takes. She goes above and beyond for each child that she has. This is her first year to be in 4th grade. She was a 3rd grade teacher previously, and she has just been a wonderful addition to our 4th grade team, and she is just a rock star.
Allred says taking on a different grade was definitely something new, but...
So I love it. I was a little concerned because I was used to having one classroom all day long, and so now I split and I have 41 students. I love having the split classrooms because you see more kids, and they're funny.
And what keeps Allred coming back?
The kids.
And for Allred, these kids bring joy to the job that she does.
At the end of the day, no matter how crazy it is, or even if we have a bad day, there's always positive every day because of them.
Congratulations, Emily. Check out the moment she was surprised as top teacher and her full interview, a web exclusive on Fox 54 Plus after the show. Also, nominated teacher on fox54.com. If you live near Browns Ferry nuclear power plant, keep an eye out for a special Christmas card in your mailbox. TVA is sending out their annual calendar with information on the plant, including what you need to know about plant safety, evacuation routes, and even a card you can fill out to let first responders know if anyone in your home has special needs in case of an emergency. TVA spokesperson Clarissa McLean explains why TVA does this every year.
So this is just to provide people with information so that they can prepare and make a plan and just understand what the steps that would be taken in the event that there was some type of incident at Browns Ferry. It also has a card inside of here that people can fill out. The postage has already been paid for, where if they need emergency assistance, in the event of an evacuation, they can fill that out, and that way local emergency responders will have that information ahead of time. So.
Yeah, these calendars go to every home within a 10-mile radius of the Browns Ferry plant and have response cards in English and Spanish. Hundreds of men and women took those final steps today in their educational journey, earning their diplomas at Alabama A&M University.
Based upon the recommendation of the faculty in the College of Agricultural, Life and Natural Sciences, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates for the baccalaureate degree.
There they are, graduating students walked the stage at the A&M Event Center this morning. The ceremony honored the fall class, but also students who completed their studies this past summer. Newly elected Huntsville City Council member Michelle Watkins, a Bulldog herself, delivered the commencement address. And as you might know, the university will be celebrating its 150th anniversary next year. Congrats to all.
You graduates, though most of you will be leaving UAH now, I'm certain that many of you will remain to be a vital part of this remarkable community, and you'll be instrumental in its continued growth and success.
Pomp and circumstance today at the Probst Arena. It was a day to celebrate. Nearly 1,000 UAH students completed their educational journeys. Those earning their diplomas this summer and fall took part in the event, split into morning and afternoon sessions to accommodate the 994 graduates. The group includes 318 master's degrees, while 52 men and women earned their doctorates. And over in Florence, ceremonies concluded this weekend. The University of North Alabama wrapped up a 2-day commencement event staged at Norton Auditorium. Again, as at UAH, those earning their degrees this summer and fall were invited to participate. Congratulations to all the men and women on their achievements.
Today, we're able to take our status as a running city to a new level as Huntsville has been selected to host the 2025 USA Track and Field Masters Outdoor Nationals here at Milton Frank Stadium on July 17th through the 20th.
Well, we've had table tennis nationals, junior college national championships, paracycling world championships, and now we had a track and field national event to the mix. Good evening and welcome into sports. Just 4 months ago, the U.S. Track and Field Masters Outdoor Nationals were slated to be held in Southern California. In August, however, it was announced that the three-day event, which features athletes ages 25 to 105, needed a new home in Imstead, Huntsville. The meet coincides with the track renovations at Milton Frank Stadium, and it became possible due to the City of Huntsville, the Sports Commission, and the school system quickly coming together to make a bid. Huntsville-Madison County Convention and Visitors Bureau Sports Development Manager Joel Lamp describes the crazy last few months and the efforts it took to bring this 56-year-old national event to the Rocket City.
Been a fast and furious dating process. Speed dating on steroids is the best way to put it. They lost their venue in August. We put in our first letter of interest in September, had a site visit in the beginning of November and got awarded that pretty quick. We just signed the paperwork first week in December.
The original idea for Milton Frank was to make it something special for our kids here in town. But as we started the process of renovating, Billy Priest asked me about how we can improve the facility to make it better. The idea was to make it so that we could host middle school, high school, college, and international level events.
Hey, good evening, sports fans. For the first time in program history, multiple Mars Hill football players have signed Division I national letters of intent on the same day. Just 2 weeks ago, the Mars Hill Panthers won the Class 3A state championship, and now a pair of those Panther stars have made their commitments to in-state FCS programs, and they made it official. Tight end Camden Pig, he's heading to Sanford, while defensive back Tanner Cotto is staying close to play for Brent Dearman and the University of North Alabama. Both players telling FOX54 about their decision to commit to their future teams.
I just feel like it was the best fit for me, being, the religious aspect, and my brother's there, just feel like home.
In the spring, coaches start coming by. And Coach Dearman came by and he talked to me, and I didn't know I had the offer yet, and so I came back to class, and then the principal came and got me and said, Coach Higgins wants to speak to you in the office. And then I came back up there and found out that Coach Dearman had offered me, and it was really a blessing. I almost started crying, but yeah, after that I knew I probably wanted to go there, and I picked up a couple other offers from other schools, but I wanted to play at home.
Another round of seniors has signed off to play sports at the next level. This time, we've got a quartet of Eagles at Decatur Heritage Christian. Congratulations go out to Bryant Sparkman, Paxton Tarver, Olson Howard, and Brady Wilson. These guys are multi-positional athletes who contributed on the mound, in the field, and at the dish for the Eagles, who went 23-10 this season, won Class 3A Area 14 and made it to the playoffs. Sparkman's off to Northwest Shoals Community College, Tarver to Southern Union Community College, Howard to Rhodes, and Wilson is off to Auburn. Here's Coach Steve Meek on what this accomplishment means for his program.
North Alabama's always been a hotbed for baseball, and since way back in ancient times when I played. I think here at Decatur Heritage, we've established a baseball program. We expect to make the playoffs. We expect to go deep in the playoffs, and we've signed a lot of guys through the years, and we've had a lot more that could have, but decided to take an academic scholarship or just go on to be a lawyer, doctor, whatever they wanted to do in college. So for the opportunity that these guys have, it's an amazing accomplishment for them, the hard work they put in. It doesn't matter if you're a 1A school or 7A school, somewhere in between. If you can play, they can find you, and you put in the work, and somebody will sign you.
The reindeer may get top billing this time of year, but Santa has some other four-legged friends, it seems. An open house today in Meridianville where the jolly old man shared the stage with these guys, 21 alpacas, who were also in the Christmas spirit. The Rock House Alpaca Farm has been around for years, but this was the first time they've held a holiday event like this. Visitors enjoyed some hot cocoa, visited with Santa, and posed for plenty of photos with the herd. We asked owner Michelle Williams whether Rudolph and his friends should be worried about Santa switching out for the reindeer for something different.
They are very gentle animals. So they're one of the safest livestock animals you can actually have on a farm. They are a herd animal, so you need more than one. They look like reindeer. They just don't have the horns. And this one could pass as Rudolph if we put a little red nose on him. Come here, can you give me a kiss?
All right. Well, though the Christmas open house is new, Rock House Alpacas has also been offering tours and interactions with their herd throughout the year for those who are interested.
You know it's Christmas when you see this red crest behind me. Today, the Salvation Army gave us a behind-the-scenes look at its toy distribution center on Bailey Cove Road. It's the last day of packing all of these gifts before volunteers ship them all over North Alabama. The goal? To give toys, clothes, and essentials for kids to open on Christmas Day. It's part of the org's annual Angel Tree program. Corps Officer Jane May says the whole point is to get kids the gifts they wouldn't otherwise get to open.
The thing that always gets me about this is you're helping a child you've never met, and that child is receiving help from someone they'll never know. And it's amazing that people do this without the need for recognition. And it's anonymous. They just do it because they love their fellow man. And that blesses me more than anything that I get to see this happen.
Wow, what a way to give back. The Angel Tree program is at Parkway Place Mall. Someone takes a tag off a tree at the mall, and it represents a real child in the community. The tag has the child's wish list and their clothing sizes. Then the person who took the tag donates what they can to the Salvation Army, and they distribute the gifts to kids across town.
Well, 'tis the season of giving, and here at Fox 54, we're taking that to heart. Fox 54, through our parent company, Cigna, donated to the Caring Heart Outreach, which is based in Arab, but they are warming hearts beyond that. The founder of the nonprofit stopped by our station today. Here's a glimpse of what they're doing.
There are stories every single day that humble us and bring us to tears.
Meet the Joneses, a husband and wife out of Arab and founders of Caring Heart Outreach.
I started in 2020. It was originally just going to be a thrift store that helps fund the domestic violence shelter and the homeless ministries. We realized really quick that we can make a bigger difference, and we started the pantry for the teenagers. Within the first 3 months of the pantry being open, we had well over 100 teens.
The outreach doesn't just help teens and kids. It's expanding services to better serve seniors through a new community center and another food pantry, showing a focus on people, no matter the age.
It was a wonderful home that some people built in the 60s, and they lived their entire lives there. Everybody in the community knows when they passed away, they put it up for sale, and it just felt like that was what we were supposed to do, was to help continue legacies.
But the centers and events provide more than just food and clothing. They give out hope, and as David Jones puts it, a little bit of magic.
There was a dad who was there at our event, and he had 4 small children, and they were able to come in and pick out a little something for him and his mother, their grandmother. He said that the best part about it was watching them go through the area to pick out a little gift for him and for their grandmother, and just seeing the smile on their face and just the light in their eyes. He said that little bit of Christmas magic was so special to him.
And as the outreach is pouring into lives, the Joneses say they hope to inspire others to build legacies of care.
A lot of people feel that they don't have a lot to contribute, and everybody can contribute something. And if we provide the place for them to come and do that, then they will be able to leave a legacy where they didn't think they could.
All right, such a great story. If you have a heart to give but can't do it in person, Caring Heart Outreach does take online donations. To find out how you can help, visit fox54.com.
Christmas time, so you're bound to see lights on trees, houses, but cars, yes, they've been around town. And one Madison County teen has his car all decked out in Christmas lights. See, this was done by 16-year-old Ryan Vanderbless. He said he was inspired by a trend he saw on TikTok. Initially, Ryan said it was a pact he made with his friends. Turns out Ryan ended up being the only one to pull it off, and he was pulled over by law enforcement, but for a good reason. He said it was to take pics with his masterpiece. Here's what Ryan says about brightening people's night.
It makes me feel good, you know, seeing the smiles on people's faces and stuff like that. I did it throughout the week, like separate, like the hood one day, then the doors the next day. So it's about like 6 hours, I would say.
Ryan says he plans to take those Christmas lights off right after Christmas, you know, car wash and all. But he tells us more on how he got this to work. Watch the full interview, a web exclusive on Fox 54 Plus.
Well, this latest research can be a bit of a holiday downer, as a rise in food prices this holiday season may make the trip to the grocery store a little less than cheerful. According to the Consumer Price Index released this week by the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, grocery prices rose 0.4% in November. Egg prices made one of the biggest jumps at 8.2%, with the increase in bird flu cases playing a major role. Although the food increase in prices is moderate a bit from the past years, they are still more than 20% higher than they were before the pandemic. But if you're planning to hit the road this holiday season, gas prices may not be a problem. According to AAA, the national gas price is $3.02, 11 cents less than last holiday season. And here in Huntsville, the average price of gasoline is $2.60, with the statewide average at $2.70. We spoke with the AAA spokesperson with some advice before you fill up this holiday season.
It is exactly that. It is an average. So you're going to see a wide variety of pricing out on the highways over the next week or so. And you're going to see prices below $2.50 a gallon. You're going to see prices above $3 a gallon. So it's really important that you pay attention to the prices out there and make sure that you're not paying 50, 60 cents a gallon more than you need to be paying, simply because you weren't paying attention, because that makes a big difference in how much it costs to fill up your tank, of course.
All right, and to help with that, AAA offers a free mobile app that allows you to find the cheapest gas prices in town. Information can be found on the AAA website. And a Morgan County charitable event was so successful, it's ending early. Feeding Families of Alabama and Hartsville invited the community to this year's Christmas shop, where parents can pick out presents for their children at no charge. But so many people came in to claim these gifts, their supplies ran out. And Monday's planned shopping day has been canceled. On Friday, we asked organizer E.D. Grun what it's like to run the event.
It is absolutely a blessing for us to be able to do it. It's also very stressful. It's very hard work, lots and lots of hours. We put in I can't even tell you the total of man hours that it took to put this together.
All right, Feeding Families will now take a break for the rest of the year and start back fresh in January to continue their mission of helping North Alabama families in need.
Well, it's not every day you step outside in your backyard and you see an entire rail system just planted there. Well, when you miniaturize it, the idea does seem like more of a reality, and it has become a reality for a local family.
I had many hobbies over my life, and this one I finally settled in on because it was something I can bring my wife into.
I never thought I'd be an adult decorating large scale like this again. I had a dollhouse as a kid, but it's fun.
Grant Swear plays the role of train operator, while Jenny Swear is in charge of gardening and decorating. Together, this married couple has brought the Grant Funk Railroad to life over the last few years.
We started off with a train around the Christmas tree, and in our previous house, we just had train on the concrete.
But when they moved here from California, something was mandatory.
The backyard was a big part of his decision on what houses he liked.
Grant has loved trains his whole life.
Trains were one of the things that I loved as a kid, and this is a real fun hobby.
And this hobby has now brought a mini rail system to the maximum level. But it's all in the details.
If you see all the trees up there, none of them are supposed to get technically more than 3 feet tall, but I have to bonsai them some.
She goes out and finds all of the little Christmas stuff and all the detail stuff, and then she'll set them out. Basically, I just get it to work, and she makes it look good.
From little trees to tiny homes, hundreds of people every year may come into this world feeling like giants, but leave with even bigger smiles. Grant and Jenny say that's one of their favorite parts of putting on the show.
Seeing their faces and watching how excited they get, and they run around and follow the trains and just have a good time, and I love that part.
Having them come out to see it, to enjoy it, to be inspired by it, we love it.
But the other big positive, sharing this hobby together.
It's nice that we can share the hobby.
That was something I really, really wanted to have. It's something that we can both do together.
Grant says this rail system isn't fully complete just yet and looks forward to keep his love of trains going strong down the tracks. From Owens Crossroads, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
Well, the city of Madison turned out in numbers to get their hands on the chicken. That's right, the annual Madison Christmas Capers took place this afternoon in downtown Madison. It dates back to the Great Depression when Doc Hughes, owner of Hughes Drugstore, would throw live chickens off the roof for families to help them during the holidays. While today's chickens are rubber, giving back is still a focal point, and his grandson is proud to keep that tradition going.
It's a lot of fun for me, and you know, I know a number of the, as I say, the old folks before I became one, but the old folks that I would remember who would really get a real thrill out of seeing it. And that's kind of a thrill for me. And I think of my grandparents would get a real kick out of the fact that it's still being done.
Once all the chickens were accounted for, folks headed over to the City of Madison's Christmas Parade, which you are able to catch on Fox 54, available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV devices.
The excitement of Christmas continues to build up, and there's lots of holiday fun on the Fox 54 Plus streaming app. Go through the parades many of our communities have thrown this month and go on a virtual walk through downtown Huntsville's Tinsel Trail with the special features we have on the streaming app. The Weekend Review will be back next weekend to help you close out the year with another look at the news from your community. Until then, I'm Fox 54's Kenesha Dees. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.